All right, so it's early in the morning, and I'm not going to work for very long because I have to go to sleep for work. But I am over here getting ready to work on the Focus. That way we can, one, I want to get it up in the air. Two, possibly look at what I have to do to get this coolant tank out and the motor mount and, pull the front cover off, which it looks like it's already off. The bottom half isn't, but yeah, I'm just gonna pretty much toss you guys on a time lapse so I can get it up in the air, and then I'll go from there. Maybe show you guys the underneath and what we're gonna do. But that's pretty much the plan. Really, is get it up in the air. This coolant tank has to go. The motor mount has to go. The little swirl pot has to go for the power steering. So get all of this moved out of the way. So here we go. All right, so here's where we're gonna start. I got it up in the air, and I think where we're gonna start is we're gonna go ahead and start by getting this coolant tank out of the way. So however we do that, there's gotta be a bolt for it somewhere here, but we're just gonna try and get this out of the way, and then we'll go from there. All right, so far I've got the coolant tank out and all the hoses are sitting here. I ended up taking the power steering bracket off that holds the reservoir. That should give me plenty of room. I really don't want to have to take this out, so hopefully that'll give me enough room. Now I just need to get this motor mount off, but I think to get the motor mount off, I really need to put a jack underneath here, so I'm gonna find a piece of 2x4 or something to put on top of the jack. That way it can, safely sit on the bottom of the motor without hurting it. So I'll be right back. All right, just getting into, looking at the timing chain or the timing belt. I'm just already noticing something. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but the timing belt is actually hitting this front cover. So that's obviously, starting off, that's not a good thing. I mean, obviously, start looking up here, you could tell it's barely hanging on there. So maybe it just wasn't put on there all the way back, or maybe we have a bent pulley. It's a possibility, but I won't be able to tell until I get down in there to really find out. But already that's a red flag. You definitely never want to see a timing belt hitting the front cover. It's just going to wear through your belt. And as you can see, it was already catching. So I'm going to replace this belt anyways. I just need to get it retimed so I can test the compression on here. So for now, it is what it is. It looks fine. Realistically, these don't look too bad. There's a couple spots where it's pretty worn out from riding on top of the gears. We'll have to see once we get in there, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take the serpentine belt off, maybe take a couple pulleys off just to get this front cover off. So that's not gonna be today. Probably be this weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and go home and get some sleep before I have to go into work. So for you, it'll be 2 seconds. For me, it'll be who knows how long. All right. All right, so I'm back working on the Focus. Upon doing a little more research, I realized that I'm going to have to go ahead and take the wheel off, the inner fender off, which is not a big deal. I got to get these wheels off anyways. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to go ahead and come in here and take off the serpentine belt, get this taken out, which means I got to take the water pump pulley off, the crank pulley off. So I brought my torch. So I'm gonna get back with you guys once I've gotten the wheels off and the inner fender off. So all right, so got the belt off and the wheels off, inner fender off. Yeah. So all right, now what we're gonna do is go ahead and take this water pump pulley off. Then once that's done, figure out. I'm gonna have to get this pulley out, so I'm gonna have to jack up the motor with, block on the friggin' oil pan. Not that I like to, but that's the only way that I can think of to do it. So we're gonna water pump pulley off while it's down here. We'll jack it up, get that off. And then there's 4 bolts back here. We'll have to get to lowering it, raising it, blah blah. So all right, I'll just hop back on here whenever I get those off. It's 3 bolts here, and then there's like 4 bolts here. I'll show you where they're at when I take the cover off. All right, so just to give an update, my uncle did come over. We went ahead and got everything completely taken off. So we confirmed it does crank over, and it sounds smooth. Ran it off the starter and everything. It sounds good. But as you can see, the timing idler is not in. That would be because whoever previously worked on this motor stripped out the threads, or the old timing idler bolt was completely bent. So maybe while it was running, it rounded out the threads or whatever. I mean, it is an aluminum head, so whatever. So my uncle went to go grab his compression checker. We're gonna put this old new idler in just to do the compression check. I think it'll hold long enough just to do the compression check. Then I'm gonna have to helicoil it since it is aluminum, and these idlers, you can't really upsize the bolt. Not only do they have a flange on the back that holds it in place, it also has this spacer on it that is specific to this bolt. So I'm sure there's a workaround, but I'm just gonna helicoil it. It'll hold it just fine. There is threads in the very back there, so hopefully it'll be all right. That's all we're waiting on. I will say, if the compression check is good, I'm gonna helicoil it and fix it, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the VCT delete because I have it sitting here, right here. So if we do end up doing that, I maybe will show it. If not, I'm just trying to get this thing going. But that's where we're at right now. So I think where we last left off, we were compression testing the motor, or I was telling you we were going to. We ended up doing it, and well, here is the spare motor. So if that gives you any indication, yeah, it didn't go very well. The nice thing is this head looks to be good. So what I'm gonna end up doing is, obviously on cylinder number 4, one of the valves took a crap. So I'm gonna be cleaning up all of these valves, probably pulling a couple out of the motor that's in the car, putting them in here. We're gonna rebuild this head and put this head on that block, as long as there's nothing wrong with any of the pistons in there. If there is, then we'll be pulling the whole motor out and rebuilding it. But as long as there's nothing wrong with that block, we're gonna be putting this head on that. Hopefully it won't take too long. I have all the tools to swap the valves and everything. I just bought some, so. Basically, what we're going to be doing today to finish out this video is we're going to be going over to my parents' place, grabbing the car, bringing it over to my house so I can actually work on it more without having to leave, and I would actually have more time to spend on working on it. So we're just gonna get right to it. All right, so we're over here at my parents. We're getting the motor mount hooked back up so I can drop the jack. We're gonna get the new wheels put on, these ones taken off, and then we're gonna get it loaded up on the trailer. Then we'll take it over to my house, get it unloaded, but okay. All right, well, that was very eventful. I didn't end up filming it. Here it is in the garage. Filthy, but in the garage. I did end up putting the SVT wheels on. They look all right. They look kind of funky. But they don't look bad. So now that we got it in here, we can pull this head off, rebuild that other one, put it back on, get this thing going. I don't know what else it needs from there. We'll figure it out, but I mean, I also need to put on the rear spoiler, probably find a different hood, because this one's just pretty much destroyed. And then, yeah, that's it for getting it running. But that's gonna be all for this video. I'll pick it back up whenever we start disassembling this engine. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Leave me some comments about, you know, bumpers, hoods, simple things I could do. And if you're local to the Kansas City area, if you have a tuner or know of a tuner that does these, or any kind of Ford who can tune this with the supercharger, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see y'all later.